Ugh, ghosting. It leaves that heavy, hollow feeling, doesn't it? When a connection that felt like it was really becoming something just vanishes into thin air. If you've ever felt that sting, then this explainer is definitely for you. We're going to look at this whole thing from a powerful new angle, and trust me, it might just change everything.
And that's silence. It's not just quiet, is it? It's deafening. It's confusing. It hurts like hell, and it can make you question absolutely everything about yourself. But what if I told you that silence wasn't an ending? What if it was actually a message? Okay, let's really dive into this, because from a spiritual viewpoint, that silence isn't a lack of communication at all. No, it's actually a very, very loud message from the universe. And once you learn how to tune in and really hear it, well, that's when it all starts to shift. This right here, this is the key. Seriously, this one single thought is the pivot point that can take you from a place of hurt and confusion to a place of incredible power. It was never about what you lost. It was always about where you're being guided to next.
So how do we actually make that shift in our heads and in our hearts? Let's break down the spiritual ideas that show us why this incredibly painful experience might actually be a form of, believe it or not, divine protection.
So the big idea here is something called energetic alignment. Look, think of it this way. As you grow, as you work on yourself, as you raise your standards for your life, your whole vibe, your spiritual frequency, it literally changes. And when that happens, you just can't connect with people who are still operating on a totally different level.
And I love this analogy because it makes it so clear. It's not personal. The old radio station isn't mad at you for changing the dial. It just literally can't reach you anymore. You've just leveled up to a higher frequency that, right now, they just can't access.
And this really gets to the core of it. I mean, think about it. If a person can't even handle a simple, respectful conversation about leaving, how could they possibly have the tools to build a real future? Their disappearing act isn't a reflection of your worth. It's the universe doing you a favor, removing someone who wasn't equipped for where you're going. It's protection from a much bigger heartbreak down the road.
Now, this table is so powerful for reframing those thoughts that just spin in our heads. Let's walk through it. You know that little voice that whispers, "I wasn't enough"? Let's reframe that to, "No, you were too much for their current capacity." How about that desperate need for closure? The truth is, their silence is the closure. It told you everything you needed to know about their character. And that worry, what if they're with someone else? Well, spiritually, they're just playing out a different lesson with a different soul. And finally, that awful feeling of, "I wasted my time." Not at all. You gained a crucial data point for your discernment. No lesson is ever wasted.
Okay, so our mindset is shifting. We're seeing things differently. But now what do we do? Let's get into some real, practical, empowering actions. This is all about taking your power back and firmly closing that energetic door they left wide open.
The very first, and honestly most important move, is to pull all your energy back. Stop focusing on the why of them leaving and start focusing on the how of your own experience. Ask yourself, how did I really feel when I was with them? Be honest. A lot of the time, we realize we were mourning the potential of a person, not the reality of who they were.
And to really slam that energetic window shut, here's a whole menu of tangible rituals you can try. Maybe it's a grounding salt bath to literally wash their energy away, or a powerful cord-cutting visualization. Maybe it's a digital sweep, blocking, deleting, reclaiming your online peace, or just replacing the time you spent on them with something that makes you feel amazing. Pick whichever one feels right for you right now.
And here's a tool for your back pocket. Anytime you feel yourself slipping back into that old headspace, I want you to say this out loud. Mantras like this aren't just empty words. They literally help shift your brain chemistry from a state of lack and questioning to one of strength and self-worth. You are reminding yourself of who you are.
All right, now for what I like to call the final boss level, because it's almost a universal law that the second you truly, finally let go and feel free, ding, a text from them pops up. This isn't a coincidence. It's the universe's final test of your new boundaries and your commitment to your own value. So when that hey text inevitably comes in, here's option one, the standard bearer. This is your high-value, low-drama response. You're not starting a fight. You're just calmly and clearly stating your new terms. You're essentially saying, the price of admission to my life has gone way up.
Now, if you are just done, like completely and totally over it and have zero interest in a sequel, this is the Boundary Boss move. It's direct, it's firm, and it leaves no room for confusion. It's about honoring your own peace over their curiosity.
And then
There's option 3, which is sometimes the most powerful spiritual move of all. No response. You just mirror their own energy right back at them. You're showing them, not telling them, that they no longer have access to your attention. It's the ultimate quiet statement that you have moved on.
But what if a tiny part of you wonders if they're being sincere? Okay, before you even let your mind go there, run their comeback through this quick checklist, the 3 A's. Do they acknowledge what they did and apologize for it? Did they take accountability, explaining why without excuses? And do they offer to make amends with a real plan? If the answer is no to even one of these, they're not serious. They're just bored.
So, as we bring all this together, let's just zoom all the way out. Let's focus on the real takeaway, the true purpose of this whole unexpected and, yeah, painful journey.
And this right here, this is the absolute truth of it all. Everything we talked about, the reframing, the rituals, the new boundaries, none of it was a secret strategy to try and get them back. The entire point of their absence was to create the space for you to get you back, to return home to the most vibrant, powerful, and whole version of yourself. And that leads us to the final and most exciting question. They left a void, yeah? But you did the work. You cleared it, you blessed it, and you reclaimed it as sacred ground. So the real question has nothing to do with them anymore. It's all about your beautiful open future. Now that all that space is cleared, who or what are you finally making room for?